Face it, no one ever left home to become one with the crowd. No one ever hit the road without a drive and without a need to succeed. No one, never. Because the whole idea to start on your own is to find your passion, to discover something novel, moving, inspiring, to discover something new and extraordinary in yourself, the idea and the business you choose to do. Consider a new role. Find an entrepreneur in you. Take risks. Crave for the new. Build new relationships. Find new energy to break all barriers. Become one with your idea, your passion and belief. Well, since 1999, we have partnered and nurtured more business relationships than any other company. Helping entrepreneurs explore new businesses is not just what we believe in. It has always been who we are. Since Gaurav packed his bags and left off in search of the extraordinary, we have opened and put more businesses on a growth path than anybody else. And the best thing about growth is that it never stops knocking on the doors of successful people. Successful people who are always looking for the right opportunity. We all get a moment with that opportunity. And right now, somewhere around you, right here, there is an opportunity waiting just for you. An opportunity that could lead you on your path for the rest of your life. As franchise Indians every day, everything we do is creating an opportunity for you. Because your growth is our business.
Hello and good afternoon, everyone, and thank you so much for joining us on this webinar called Business Opportunity Over Chai. Business Opportunity Over Chai is a webinar series presented by the management of Franchise India every day at 12 o'clock in the afternoon with an aim to introduce you to a new business opportunity. Every day, we bring exciting and high potential franchise business opportunities from across the industry. Over the past 27 years, Franchise India has proudly helped thousands of investors finding the right opportunity and successfully start their entrepreneurial journey. Franchise India, as world's largest integrated franchise solution company, our role is to make sure your investment is safe by taking an informed decision and your journey from investor to entrepreneur is smooth and successful. In today's webinar, we will introduce Stella Rossa. Stella Rossa is a premium Australian cafe brand founded in 2009 in Brisbane, built around the philosophy of your local cafe, a warm, community-driven space offering handcrafted specialty coffee and all-day dining experience. With 20 plus successful cafes across Queensland and a strong franchise ecosystem, Stella Rossa has established itself as a trusted name known for high quality cafe, fresh food, and personalized neighborhood cafe vibes. The brand is now entering India as its flagship international market with an ambitious plan to scale through franchise partnership and open 100 plus stores across major tier 1 and tier 2 cities by 2030, introducing format such as a coffee shop, high street cafes, and coffee and wine bars tailored for Indian consumer preference. And to talk about the same, I'm joined with the co-founders, Darren and Phil, along with my colleague from Franchise India, Gaurav Arora is the Chief Growth Officer for Work. We have Krishik Nair, he is the Key Account Manager. We have Prakhar Nigam, General Manager Sales. And of course, we have Ms. Sonia Chaudhary, she is the Managing Director, Franchise India Growth. But before I invite the panel to start talking about the brand, setting the perspective, I would like to inform all the viewers that you also have opportunity to ask questions related to the brand, the business. You can put all your queries into the Q&A box, and we will come back to you with the answers once the overall presentation is done. I'll now, invite and Sonia ma'am to take the lead. Let's get started. Let's set the perspective, and then we will move on to introduction of both the founders and then presentation. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Bharat. And friends, a very good afternoon to all of you. I take this opportunity of welcoming everyone who's attending the webinar and also our friends who are seeing this live. I also welcome the management and the leadership of Stella Rossa to today's webinar, Darren and Phil, who are proud co-founders of this prestigious brand. And like Bharat said, every single day we bring opportunities for our community of and the ever-growing community of entrepreneurs and business buyers. But this is a very special opportunity at Franchise India. We've been at the forefront of working with entrepreneurs to help them take an informed decision of starting a business. And we also work with a very big community of franchisors and companies who we reach out to expand their footprint. And they're very selective opportunities that we ourselves take the master franchise rights of. So Stella Rossa is one such brand that we were extremely convinced to bring to the Indian market because we understand the trends, we analyze these trends much before anybody can see. So we're proud to be a master franchise partners of Stella Rossa, and we are spearheading the Stella Rossa's expansion across the country. And our mission at Franchise India and Fran Global, our two entities, is to collaborate with like-minded entrepreneurs who share and have the same, I would say, bend for premium F&B experience as we have at Franchise India, Fran Global, and Darren and Phil at Stella Rossa, and who want to be part of a global cafe success story. So if you look at the overall opportunity with the company and the brand, Australia historically is a globally recognized as one of the finest coffee cultures on the planet. And long before the rise of global chains that we see in markets globally and in India, Australian cafes pioneered the modern specialty coffee movement, and they brought in craftsmanship, high quality Arabica beans, expert roasting, and true barista artistry to everyday life. Cities like Melbourne, Sydney are now considered world capital of coffee, where customers expect perfection in every single cup of tea. The cafes compete on innovation and quality. And these are community cafes which play a very crucial role, role in the lifestyle and social culture in Australia. And the result is a market where independent cafes consistently have outperformed global chains. So our choice of bringing in Australian chain and partnering with the Stella Rossa was on these grounds. So I'm happy to share with all of you friends, we at Franchise India and Fran Global, we are proud partners of Stella Rossa as Stella Rossa India. And we're looking at, like I said, like-minded partners for India. And the chain is one of the fastest growing premium chains, is now entering the market with a vision to redefine the neighborhood cafe experience. And the brand has been known for its artisan coffee, elevated all-day menu, which means you have high trading hours and a very warm community-centric spaces. So before we go to the presentation, I'll also request Darren and Phil, if you want to set a perspective, how you started. You spent many, many years in the market, understanding the overall global landscape and how you see Indian market. And friends, we also have Gaurav Arora. He leads the entire opportunity for India along with his teams. Gaurav is based out of Delhi, and we also have his teams, Krishik, who handles our region, entire West, headquartered in Bombay. And Prakhar is part of our team based out of Delhi. And we'll run you through a small presentation. We'll be happy to take any questions that you have on the overall opportunity. But we're looking for partners, both, I would say, for unit locations or a multi-unit locations, and equally somebody who's passionate about owning and running a territory and becoming our initial co-founders along with us to start any region. So I'll request Darren, Fel, any one of you who wants to take a lead to get started, and then we'll start with our presentation.
Okay. Well, I think I'll go first. Thanks, Sonia. Thanks for that. Welcome, everybody. Just to give you a little bit of I'm Darren, I'm the co-founder, along with one of my oldest friends, Phil. We've known one another for well over 40 years now. We started Stella Rossa back in 2009, as Sonia said before. Initially, we were the passion was all about the coffee. Coffee was everything to our brand, and food, to be honest, wasn't an afterthought. But when we started in Brisbane City, it was all about the coffee, and the food was more of a grab and go. It was quick service. We established a strong footprint in Brisbane City back then, and then we started to grow out into the suburban areas and to the regional areas of Queensland. Now, through that evolution of the brand, we've we've evolved into a full format cafe, in some instances more of a restaurant style of operation, where some of our operators or some of our franchises are licensed with liquor license. But we've, as Sonia said before, we're really proud to be that local cafe for the area. We've really prided ourselves on not being just another big coffee brand. We're very, very passionate about coffee and of course the food now, and we've also, probably one of our key highlights of our brand is the flexibility that we have. So we've got a more of a flexible menu. So we will design that menu and tailor that to a specific area, because we understood several years ago that not every area is the same, and where we know that we're going to experience that with our growth into the Indian market. And I think the flexibility is a really key component of our brand, to be able to work not only with franchise partners but also with specific areas, to be able to create something and design something that is tailored to that market. On the same vein, where even with our store fit outs, where we're not a cookie cutter type of cafe model. So all of our stores are slightly different. So we've got, and this is in the Australian market, we've got small kiosk models through to a smaller cafe model that is breakfast, lunch style with a little bit of external seating, all the way through to 200 square meter sites. I'm not sure how many square feet that is, but let's call it 2,000 square feet. I think that would be about right.
Yes.
With a large external seating area. Then we also go through to a full drive-through model. So we're 15 years old now, or 16 years old, and we're still growing. We're growing strongly in the Australian market, but we saw the opportunity. We've been keeping an eye on the overseas market and where we wanted to expand to, and we've kept a close eye on the Indian market. We see that the palette there is evolving. It's what was once, and I'm sure you'd agree, was a couple of decades ago, it was predominantly a tea market, where the coffee market in India is extremely strong, and it's it's becoming more and more sophisticated as we go along, or each year. And look, we know, even with the Australian market, how much that's changed over the last 25 to 30 years. And the Australian market is a very it's a hard market. It's 25 million people, and which is in a way, it's actually quite a good thing for the brand, because it's really forced us to continue to evolve the brand and become better and better all the time, and just not rest on what we've always done. So look, we're very passionate about what we do. We've got a very strong team. Our ethos and our values of our brand are something that we're very mindful of, and very just trying to think of my words here, but look, we're very passionate, and I suppose the market, as I said, is growing here, but we're extremely excited to partner with Franchise India. It's a passionate group of people. We've in a very short space of time, we've developed some great relationships, and we're looking forward to continuing to grow. Did you have anything to add on to that, Phil?
Yeah, I think just adding on to what you said, Darren, then I suppose we've grown from like you said at the start, probably a very coffee focused, type of smaller site company, into a larger space, more broader focused cafe outlet. So we're focusing just as much on food, on beverages, alcohol, where we're serving alcohol, but also just not building cafe outlets for the sake. They're not just an outlet for a cafe. They're more of a community type outlet where people can come and do whatever they want in there, from a they can be part of the community for that coffee shop or not. It can be just a quick grab a coffee and go, or they get to know their barista. They get to know the staff, they meet their friends there, and they're return customers. So for us, I suppose that our model's probably evolved into that commodity type, focus at the start on coffee to a lot larger, broader focus in what we're doing within the community now.
Right, thanks, Darren and Phil. Now we let's quickly move on to presentation part.
Vishek, can you run the screen, please?
Yeah. And meanwhile,
Friends,
all the
before we
audience.
have the presentation, I would like to basically duplicate what Darren and Phil said so that we make it more interactive and more easy to comprehend for everyone who is viewing us today and hearing about this entire opportunity that we have. So, uh, Darren and Phil, they started this about 20 years before when they thought of getting into the coffee business. बट जो डिफरेंस वो लेके आए हैं वो ये लेके आए हैं कि दे आर नॉट जस्ट अ कॉफी, दे आर अ कैफे. सो डिफरेंस बिटवीन अ कॉफी एंड अ कैफे इज दैट कॉफी is a very saturated business these days because a lot of brands have popped up and we have market dominated by brands like baristas and CCDs back 10 years, and now Starbucks, Third Wave Coffee, and Blue Tokai are basically dominating the market at a national level. But the difference हम लेके आए हैं with their experience वो ये है कि हम फूड के ऊपर उतना ही एम्फेसाइज कर रहे हैं, प्लस वी आर आल्सो ओपन टू सेट अप कॉफी एंड अ वाइन ऑप्शन और अ बियर ऑप्शन और अ कॉकटेल ऑप्शन जो अभी कोई भी नेशनलाइज्ड चेन नहीं दे रहा है. सो दिस इज बेसिकली द मेजर डिफरेंस दैट वी आर कमिंग अप, फूड, कॉफी एंड द अल्कोहलिक बेवरेजेस. सो इफ यू पुट योर कंपटीशन इन प्लेस, आप किसी भी कंपटीशन के सामने चेक बॉक्स नहीं कर पाओगे as compared to what we have as an offering, as a USP. So passion is not about serving the coffee. Passion is about giving an experience to somebody who is visiting our outlet. The passion is about giving them a reason to come time and again. And they should have a different menu every time when they're coming. It's not that they're coming only for maybe a one or two hero product that we are serving. We want to give them something which is not given by any other local coffee shop or a cafe in the local market. So the flexibility that we come up with is local palate को adopt करना, local taste buds को adopt करना. So every time we are going in a geography A to a geography B or a geography C, we do a very thorough diligence. हम एक एक nearest coffee chain cafe में visit करके personally जो है वहाँ का best food या best palate या best taste जो है उसको identify करेंगे, and then we have to curate it in our menu. So it's not that our menu is going to be very, very fixed or a sacrosanct like you have in the other competition coffee shops or coffee chains. Ours is going to be very, very flexible. और ये जो कंफर्ट है ना, ये कंफर्ट कोई भी ग्लोबल आपको ब्रांड नहीं देता है, neither in India nor across the borders. So this is basically the passion, this is the USP, this is the differentiation, and this is what the brand has taken over last 20 years with their experience, and now we are present in India. We are offering this opportunity, as Sonia ma'am said. आपको यूनिट लेना है, आपको मल्टी यूनिट लेना है, या आपको हमारे साथ एक को फाउंडर की जर्नी का रोल प्ले करना है, तो आप एज अ एरिया डेवलपर भी हमारे साथ ज्वाइन कर सकते हैं. यू कैन अंडरराइट एटलीस्ट 10 units to begin with, and then you can gradually make it to 20, 30, subject to the kind of potential you see in the same territory or maybe in the territory adjacent to the same city where you belong to. So people who come from Gujarat, people who come from Tri-City, people who come from Delhi NCR, people who come from Bombay, we have opportunity open with 10 minimum units that you can underwrite as an area developer, going up to 30, 35 odd units that you can underwrite in your purview. And then we both collaborate as company, Franchise India being master franchise and you being as an area developer. We are going to work together as one team and we help you grow in that territory wherever you wish to join as an area developer. So now coming to the presentation, as mentioned, Stella Rossa, it's a repeat. So we started in 2009, operating in about 26 odd locations. All the formats that you can think of in a food business, right from a drive-through to a kiosk model to a dine-in model or a dine-in and alcohol model. We have all these formats tried and tested already in the Australian markets and all the different geographies. And trust me, all my viewers, we have got an amazing response. And hence, while we paid a visit ourselves to Australia, we lived their life for a week, and then we got convinced before we actually brought this brand for you to make it equally profitable, equally exciting, and something to add as a difference in the solution for people who are eyeing upon beautiful cafes, but they want to create a differentiation as compared to coffee. So this is what the difference we are going to add, right? So the strength that we have is we have coffee as a specialty, we have food as a specialty, we have alcohol as a specialty, which adds to the overall experience. So the objective of our brand is that we want to be called as a local cafe, as a neighborhood cafe in a premium format, offering to an experience, offering to basically all the age group, right from the child of maybe 10 years of age who would like to sip maybe a drink of their choice, not maybe a caffeine drink, but some non-caffeine drink. And then we have something to offer to a corporate professional or a medicine professional, or maybe a young age teenager who would like to sip maybe a boba or something. So we can think of it as a menu, because that's what the objectivity we bring in as a offering. एक्सपेंशन का जो हमारा बेसिकली अभी विजन है, हमें इसको एक लाइफस्टाइल ब्रांड की तरह प्रमोट करना है। और जो भी हमारे की मार्केट्स हैं, लाइक दिल्ली एनसीआर और बॉम्बे और पुणे और अहमदाबाद और सूरत or Kolkata or a Bangalore, we want to give something new to the people. So we have three different offerings for you. We have got a cafe model, which starts with about 1,200 square feet. We have a cafe in a high street. So cafe in a mall, cafe in a standalone property can be 1,000 square feet and upwards. But cafe in a high street is 1,500, because the difference is that when you have a coffee shop in a mall, people have a organic we can have an organic visitor there, so we can create that experience of people coming in organically because they're there in that mall. But when we are setting up a cafe in a high street, we have to create a reason. So how we can create a reason is when we have a bigger offering, where we have a bigger cover, and we can give them the reason to come and sit and dine in and enjoy the drinks and the food of their choice. And cafe and bar, we want to create as a very, very unique experience for people who have passion towards serving the alcohol but not getting into the hard drinks. So barring the whiskey or a drink, a hard drink, we can give them basically a wine, a beer, or maybe a cocktail as a option. So this is what the three different opportunities, three different models, three different offerings that we have. Now, this is a very brief, which I want to touch upon. The reasons why we believe that India has a great potential. So we have very, very rapid urbanization happening, and it's not limited to metros. To be very honest, my friend, all of us have been witnessing that post-COVID era, even tier 2, tier 3 cities are growing, and probably growing at a faster rate than what we are seeing in the metro or in the state capitals. Because 50% of our Indian population is below 30 years. And they want to give back to the society. They want to give back to their hometowns. They want to give back to their motherland. So the real estate growth which is taking place other than the metro cities is a key reason for us to look at every possible microeconomy of the country. We are not saying that the area developer rights or the unit franchise opportunity or a multi-unit opportunity is limited to only metros. It's beyond. And the major shift that we are seeing in the people these days is टी को छोड़ के कॉफी की तरफ आज की डेट में लोगों का जो है ना टेस्ट हो रहा है, because of the aroma, because of the globalization, which I, in my language, say it's a globalization. So you have a globalization, you have a localization, but now it's like a blend. So it's globalization. So people travel for their work, people travel for their leisure, people travel for their friends and family who are relocated to places like Europe and US and Canada. They've started picking up coffee as a first drink rather than tea. So it's a very, very strong reason for people to come and join hands with Stella Rossa, because this is the time when you join any industry which is at a growing phase, you enjoy the journey of growth. You enjoy the journey of being a re-entrant. So the market is yet not saturated in the coffee business. You still have a lot of scope. And as I said, not limiting to only metros. You can look at this as an option in any possible geography which is growing, which is driven by the MSMEs, which is driven by the corporates, which is driven by the real estate growth in that market, right? The consumer behavior, which plays a very, very important role to give you basically a rational that how. Now we talked about why, but now how. So 57% of the cafes, right, doing a 24% daily business as per the published reports, right? The average ticket size is in a tune of 500, 600 rupees, which means that average coffee and maybe something to eat that you pick up in any of the normal coffee shop to a premium coffee shop, it ranges from 500 rupees to about 700, 800 rupees. So आपका APC, average per cover, average per bill order, अगर मैं बात करता हूँ for one individual, it's in a tune of 500 to 600 rupees. और ये आप पर्सनली भी एक्सपीरियंस कर चुके होंगे और हमने इसको डिलीजेंस के फॉर्म में भी विटनेस किया है. सो ऑल दी coffee chains are offering today coffee in a tune of 250 rupees to about 350 400 rupees. अगर आप उसमें कुछ एडिशंस करते हो, कुछ उसके अंदर आप जो है फ्लेवर्स ऐड कराते हो, तो वो आपका 500 450 रुपीस के आसपास का एक कॉफी बैठता है. अगर आप लार्ज कप पिक करते हो, स्मॉल पिक करते हो, तो आपको 250 300 का पिक करता है. एंड देन यू ग्रैब समथिंग, तो इट बिकम्स अ टोटल एपीसी ऑफ अबाउट 500 to 600 rupees. So that's what we are basically witnessing in last couple of years, ever since the evolution of coffee culture has grown to a level that every nick and corner of the country we are seeing some of the other coffee, whether it is a national brand or a local brand, growing their physical presence. So this is a very, very strong reason why we believe that Stella Rossa has great potential. So this is what we have witnessed and we are going to be witnessing in the future. Last year, when we got in touch with Stella Rossa, where we started dialogue, we saw that the branded cafe market in India was about $400 million. And next 5 years, the market is going to touch about 800. So it's like a 100% growth that we are looking at. And it's the published figure. It's not that I'm cooking this as a figure. आप जाओ, आप कोई भी सर्च इंजन पे जाके इस मार्केट को स्टडी करोगे, सो यू विल सी द सेम फिगर्स. और अगर आप इस ग्रोथ जर्नी में अभी पार्टनर होते हो एक ऐसे ब्रांड के साथ जिसने कॉफी को ही नहीं बल्कि फूड को भी और बाकी अदर ड्रिंक्स को भी अपना एक यूएसपी बनाया है, सो इट्स लाइक अ एक्सपीरियंस. एज आई सेड, you can be part of this growing journey, you can be part of this rewarding journey. And financials में जब हम discuss करेंगे, I'll tell you that how you can make your money growing at least 3 times in next 5 years if you become the proud partner with our brand. So this is basically the consumer trends and insights. As mentioned, there is a lot of demographic shift happening. Population है, टी से कॉफी का जो एक ट्रांजिशन है, वो फेज अभी हम सब देख रहे हैं. Even in the young generations, millennials and the Gen Zs are started to visit. They've started to visit coffee chains because that they believe that that's the best place for be in. और आजकल वो सोशल मीडिया का जो ट्रेंड हम देख रहे हैं कि हर एक अच्छा जो कॉफी चेन है वो एक हैंग आउट प्लेस होता है. सो पीपल गो, दे चिट चैट विद देयर फ्रेंड्स, दे डू सोशल मीडिया एंड देन दे टैग इट. सो दिस हैज बिकम now a very trending in amongst the millennials and the Gen Z, which is again a reason for visitors to pay visit to the coffee chains. Spending behavior, as I mentioned, 500, 600 is a very easy, affordable market. Taste preferences, and then digital first का तो मैं बता ही चुका हूँ आपको कि engagement जो बढ़ता जा रहा है. और इसमें डिजिटल में एक चीज और ऐड करूंगा कि इसमें सोशल मीडिया तो एक इन्फ्लुएंसिंग फैक्टर है, लेकिन आज आप घर पे वीकेंड्स पे मूवी बिंज करते हो, नेटफ्लिक्स बिंज करते हो, या कोई भी ओटीटी को बिंज करते हो, यू प्रेफर टू ऑर्डर समथिंग फ्रॉम आउटसाइड. Even if you have a public gathering, you have a social gathering at home, because a lot of house parties have started to happen these days. So people prefer to order outside food because this gives something to offer to their guests, at a convenience. और घर पे cook करने का वो trend खत्म हो गया है. So this is also one very strong reason that why every microeconomy of your city, every nook and corner of your city, every high street or a local market or a neighborhood market has a potential of a brand of this sort, right? The market opportunity says that last uh, few years there has been a evolution of about 5,000 odd brands in the cafe business, and this I'm talking about the national chains, the global chains, and the local cafes. And this is expected to grow to about 10,000 odd outlets by the end of 2029-30, which means 100% growth. जो already हम बिलियन डॉलर्स में बात कर चुके हैं, ये अब हम एब्सोल्यूट नंबर्स में बात कर रहे हैं, right? So age is playing a very important role, behavior is playing a very important role, transition is playing an important role, customer experience and their taste buds and their local palate and their social media gatherings, a lot has been contributing in this overall transition of people started to flock into the cafes and the local coffee chains. Next slide, please. So, Neelam, you want to add anything here?
Hey, Gaurav, you can continue. I think I'll sum up once you complete.
Okay, thank you. So these are the three different models we have. One is a coffee shop, which is basically a 1,200 square feet onwards, where we have the coffee as a hero product, but we can offer other mocktails or maybe other drinks which are non-alcoholic. But yes, it is basically the need of the hour, need of the consumer. We can have a dine-in of about 40, 50 odd people at one given time. We can have a takeaway, we can have a QSR, and it is like a compact, very cozy kind of a culture that we can create with this 1,200 square feet onwards kind of a setup. High Street is about 1,500 to about 2,000 odd square feet, where we can accommodate to about 70, 80 odd people at one given time. And one of my favorite, which I'm very aggressive about and very bullish about, is a cafe and bar, because this experience is something which no other cafe and a coffee shop is offering in India. So I have a personal recommendation that people who can probably looking at a larger format, and maybe they have a real estate or they have a risk appetite of about 1 crore and onwards, this is the best option for you. We can accommodate about 120, 130 odd people at a given time. We can offer them all sort of drinks, cocktails, mocktails, coffee of different sorts. Then we can order. We can also offer them a breakfast menu to a dinner menu, high tea and a supper at the same time. So this gives a lot of comfort and cushion and a boost to our overall APC and the number of covers that we are going to do in a weekday and a weekend format. And this is going to give us the fastest yield on the capital that we are going to be investing in. So though the capex is on a higher side, we're looking at setup in a tune of 1.2 crores, license cost extra. But trust me, guys, I've not seen any such experience ever. Though we have seen a lot of BYOBs, we have seen a lot of clubs, bars, discotheques coming up, but now it is the experience. You go any club, you see that they are promoting the theme-based clubs these days, and the limitation with them is that they go up like a fire, but maybe after 6 months or maybe a year later, you see that there is a uh, drastic dip in the overall footfall that they see in the beginning, because you cannot go time and again to that kind of a place which has got loud music. But this place where it's like a family restaurant which is offering coffee, alcohol, food as a combination, as an experience, you have a lot of reason. You can go there to celebrate your ceremonies, your birthday parties, your Christmas parties, your anniversaries, your social gatherings, your corporate events, because we have space to accommodate 100 odd people or maybe more at one given time. So maybe during the brunch, during the supper, during the lunch, or maybe during the late evening, you can host these parties in a very, very sophisticated way. And this gives a lot of good reasons for us to increase the sales. So this is my say on these three different offerings, different models, and different opportunities, I would say. Um, Menu, as I said in the beginning, we are very flexible, and Darren validated that we are very flexible, and that's what we bring in as a differentiation. We are open to our offerings. We can have coffees, we can have teas, we can have bakery items, we can have food, breakfast to the dinner menu, and we can have it as a fusion. It's not that we are looking at only the foreign menu or a Italian menu or a Conti menu or Australian menu. We are open for an Indian fusion, but yes, we have to be rational that it has to blend with the overall theme of the Stella Rossa as a brand that we have to offer, and then we can bring in some kind of a localization also. So it's going to be a very fusion kind of a menu, fusion kind of a offering that we bring in as a differentiation on our table. Next slide. So strategy is something that we have discussed. I've already reinforced that there are a lot of reasons, differentiations that we bring in uh, as a strategical differentiation in Stella Rosa vis-a-vis the other cafes or maybe coffee shops or maybe a bar. So it's a combination of all. So we put it ourselves in terms of placement way ahead than all these coffee shops that has been uh, uh, taken the majority of stake in our Indian coffee culture. But while we are planning our Stella Rosa with a different plan, different theme, different offering, different menu, we are going to put ourselves as way ahead than them because of the multiple options, multiple reasons for people to pay visit to us. Next slide. So, uh, strengths, opportunities, we've already discussed. Should you have any questions, I'll be more than happy to answer in the end of the session today. And maybe you can connect with my team. My team has already shared the number and the email ID for you to all reach. So you have the option to share your location of interest. You own a property, you don't own a property, or maybe the model that you want to opt. You want to opt for a cafe or a high street or maybe a cafe and bar. So please drop into your chat box so that our team can reach back to you and we can help you connect with the local person in your territory and give you further details. Maybe we can pay visit to your site and give you the understanding, maybe further in detail wherever we believe wherever we believe is required for you to understand, to know, and before you take this informed decision. So this is what the competition talks about. So Stella Rosa, we are going to put it as a premium neighborhood cafe. Starbucks and all these brands, Blue Tokais, CCDs, are now the mass market brands. Starbucks is still believed notionally as a premium brand, but to me, their coffee is not at par of what we basically pay to them, right? Because it's more of a corporate luxury kind of a placement that they have built around their brand. However, our offering is going to be a community-driven cafe, uh, serving to every age group in your neighborhood, offering to all different sorts of items for you to grab and to eat and to drink, right? So that's what the positioning and the competitive edge we are bringing, because no other brands in this space has got what we have. This is what we have as an expansion strategy. So, my friends, Delhi NCR, we are looking at the flagship store. Bombay, we are looking at a flagship store. Bangalore, we are looking at a flagship store. Hyderabad, we are looking at a flagship store. Ahmedabad, we are looking at a flagship store. So, these are the places where we are looking at a flagship store immediately. And our plan is that by the end of April, we should have at least 5 operational centers. And as master franchise, we are planning to do a mega launch of all these 5. We are committing a lot of digital presence and the influential marketing in all the possible ways to create the buzz around. Because idea is that we want to be seen, heard, and experienced at every given possible market where people can immediately pay visit and start experiencing this. So we request you that you share your interest of the in the CAF format, in the location of your interest, and we'll be happy to collaborate with you. We'll be happy to give you more details with regards to the proposed property or maybe proposed location. Right. So as said, three different offerings with three different price matrix. So franchise fees is going to be very, very economical because we are in the growth phase. We are in the journey of beginning our first cafe in the country. So we are offering it at a very, very economical rate, at a drop dead rate as compared to the other global brands. So our cafe and high street is at 15 lakhs plus GST. Cafe and bar is at 25 lakhs plus GST. Should you wish to then the opportunity starts with 25 lakhs plus GST. And if you wish to offer this, if you wish to take a unit, then it will be for 15 lakhs plus GST to about 25 lakhs plus GST. And if you're looking at setting up basically an area developer, you're looking at being collaborating as area developer for Delhi NCR, then it starts with 75 lakh rupees. For a place like Bangalore, again, same, it's 75 lakhs plus GST. So a very simple thumb rule that we have opted is plus GST for one unit, and the minimum size that you have to underwrite as a AD is for 10 units and goes up to 30 odd units. Sonia ma'am, you want to add anything?
No, thanks, Gaurav. So, friends, just to, I'll summarize the entire opportunity for you. But before that, I'll also take this opportunity of welcoming Mr. Tony White. He's the founder of Whitestone Capital. Welcome, Tony, to the webinar. And friends, we have known Tony for many, many decades. He's a veteran in the franchise industry. He worked very extensively in Australia, Indian market, where he stayed for more than a decade. He understands the overall landscape when it comes to franchising and F&B at large. Worked with a lot of global cafe brands. And I would say we are honored to have him on the panel today. He comes with a very rich experience of more than 5 odd decades working with global brands, spearheading market entries in international markets, including India. So, Tony, can we have a few words from you?
Sure. Thank you, Sonia. It's great to be here. I think look, Stella Rossa represents a great opportunity for Indian investors who are looking for a lifestyle cafe brand. I think one of the great things that Australia is known for is its cafe scene and its coffee scene and its maturity and that side of things. And so what we're looking to do is we're looking to bring that IP into the Indian market, but what we're also looking to do is to contextualize it for the Indian market. And I've lived in India for 12 years, and a large part of that 12 years was actually representing a cafe brand. So I understand the cafe scene quite well. So what we're looking to do is we're looking to try and capture the essence of what makes a great cafe in India, not just bring an exported brand from Australia. So we're bringing Australian IP in the cafe scene, but we're going to localize it and make it feel great for the Indian consumer. So that's number one. The other big differentiator I see in the Stella Rossa brand is our menu and our adaptability on menu. I'm sure perhaps Darren may have mentioned this earlier on, is that we have great flexibility in our menu, and rather than a typical Starbucks, which is a heat and serve model with a frappe or a cappuccino, we have a great opportunity to create a full-fledged menu that serves all the key day parts of breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and post-dinner desserts and so forth. And so we have a phenomenal menu range, and we do that all out of very small format kitchens. So that's part of the IP that Stella Rossa brings to the Indian market as well. How do we create a great menu out of a small format kitchen? Because one of the big things we're conscious of is that rents are the killer in India. If you don't get the rents, if you don't get the average ticket size, I know that Gaurav went through the average check of some of these other chains, and we're looking to try and get the upper end of that, because we'll have not just cappuccino and a muffin, we'll have cappuccino and some great food that actually really builds the ticket value. So I think it's a great opportunity, and it's a great opportunity for us to actually position not just as an international brand, but an international brand that really identifies and resonates with the Indian consumer. So I'm really excited about being involved with this launch.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Tony. And friends, just to summarize the entire opportunity, we are an experiential brand. We're not a transactional brand. So we focus on creating experience for our consumers. And looking at the market in India, there's a rise of premium coffee demand Indian consumers have, especially when I look at millennials, young professionals. They're shifting from instant coffee to specialty brews, handcrafted beverages, and a lot of the artisanal cafes. So it's a brand which is focusing on chef-driven menu, and I'm sure you've heard this during the course of the presentation, which is curated for breakfast, brunch, and casual dining, which means it is an all-day menu. We have long trading hours from morning till late in the evening. It's an all-day menu which has bakery. It appeals beyond just coffee, which helps us to increase our footfall, and equally our ticket size during our meals and snack hours, which is very, very important for the Indian dining consumer behavior. And the need for all-day dining cafes in India uses especially breakfast, brunch, snacks, and light meals, and not just beverages, which helps us to create a very unique experience, which most of the cafes in India, I can vouch, and I'm sure all of you would acknowledge, do not offer. And it's a proven scalable business model that performs well in malls, high streets, and neighborhood locations. We have dynamic formats that we have created across coffee shops from 1,200 square feet to 1,500 square feet, depending on the location and the spot that we get. And high streets and malls equally would have another format, which is our format combined with our bar. So when we look at the overall market gap between the QSR chains and the high-end premium cafes in India. Most of them are mass market brands and a few boutique specialty cafes, which is niche, but very few mid-premium scalable lifestyle cafes like Stella Rossa, which exactly fits in the sweet spot, I would say, both from the demand point of view from our consumers and equally from the opportunity point of view for people who want to become our partners. And we have a very extensive support from our teams in India. Between our companies, Franchise India and Tran Global, we have a very large, experienced F&B teams, cafe teams that will work with our partners right from the time that you start working with us to help you guide the right locations. And this is extremely important for us because we will not compromise on two things. One is our profile of our partners and their deep involvement in day-to-day business. And second is getting the most prime location. So when I say the prime location, it need not be the most expensive location, but financially viable. But we need to be spotted next to the top global brands and the top brands wherever we are, whether that's a high street or that's a mall. And we have extensive support, training playbook, which is replicable operations, barista training, supply chain systems. All that is centralized with our headquarters in India. And we also have a very extensive support from a parent company, from Tony, we have support from Daryl, we have support from Phil, where initial partners will also recommend to maybe go and take the training in Australia, where our teams will also accompany you. And as far as the overall, I would say, opportunity is concerned, there are three formats we are considering. And I can vouch for that when you look at a comparison of any brand in this category. I'm not talking about the local vanilla brands operating maybe small footprint in different markets. But if you look at the overall experience, the equity of the brand, the experience which they bring in, from the founders, from the promoters, and the equity of the brand, I can vouch there is no other company in India which offers a proposition or a value proposition like this, both in terms of the offering and equally in terms of our experience and also the investment proposition. We work with a lot of brands in this segment. Any brand, specifically if you look at even bar or a lounge, would not come at even the twice of the investment. So the last, in fact, 1.5 months, we worked very deeply to understand the overall landscape. We engineered our CapEx to make it more investor friendly. And even our program, which is our bar program, or I would say the liquor added to our cafe concept, it helps us to increase higher APCs, brings in better margins because alcohol beverage naturally increase our APCs at least by 30 to 40%, in certain cases, even about 60%. And all our wine and cocktail menu, it is aligned with the Australian cafe culture. So a strong contribution to the category in terms of margin versus only food-led cafes. And the brand persona, Stella Rossa, is a very warm. It is a neighborhood host, embodies relaxed Australian cafe spirit with a premium modern Indian social vibe. That is very, very important. Welcoming, approachable, and community first is what we always stand very strong on. And the entire experience is inspired by global cafe experience and culture and also effortless premium. So we give elevated but never intimidating. So when you look at the outlets, we'll be happy to share some pictures with you, some videos of our current stores which are operating in Australia. very creative, and also sociable, where people, come together, stay. And it is also a big, I would say, the brand values which our company brings. Like I said, it is community at heart first, where anyone who comes to us, feels very local. They give and get personalized services. And it is not transactional, like I said, and quality without compromise, from our coffees to fresh produce. Every day, I would say we bring a new experience to our consumers. And our experience is more important than just being transactional. So it's never come, sip and go. It's come, stay and enjoy, as our ethos of a brand. So friends, if you're interested, please reach out to us. We have done very detailed working on our marketing in terms of our go-to market for different locations, as Gaurav has taken you through the markets we want to enter. And these markets is based on our own analysis of the initial locations which we know would do very, very well, including markets like Delhi, Bangalore, Hyderabad, Pune, Bombay, where we know there's a big cafe culture and there's a big white gap when it comes to a category like Stella Rossa. So we'll be happy to share more information if you wish to reach out to us. In fact, Gaurav, along with his team, is also visiting a lot of cities in India. We have our teams already in different locations. We'll be happy to get your profile, your candidature, understand how it matches with the values that we want to have in a partner for Stella Rossa, and we'll be happy to take our conversation forward. I'll also request Gaurav, if you and the teams can also share your direct coordinates with everyone who perhaps wants to reach out to you, and any cities that you're planning in this week and the coming week. And if we have investors from those locations, perhaps we could also meet with them. I also take this opportunity, friends. We have a large show which is happening in Chandigarh, which is up of north of India. It's a 2-day show which we are doing at Taj in Chandigarh. It is happening on Saturday and Sunday, which is this Saturday and Sunday, I think 14th and 15th.
13th and 14th.
Sorry, 13th and 14th are 2 days where Gaurav is traveling, and he will be happy to meet any of our investors who are perhaps, from that demographics. And subsequently, in the coming week, the teams are also traveling to other cities, including Bangalore, Hyderabad, Ahmedabad. We have our teams already there, including Pune. So if you want to reach out to us, we'll be happy to hear from you and invite you for a one-to-one meeting to explore a mutual fitment of our partnership. Wonderful. So before we close, friends, I'll request if there's a closing note, Darren, if you want to give a closing note, Phil, if you want to give a closing note, followed by Gaurav.
Yes, I'll go first. Yeah, look, thanks everybody for listening and getting more of an understanding of Stella Rossa and who we are, where we've come from, our continued commitment to quality, and evolution of our brand. We're extremely excited about entry into the Indian market. We can see the opportunity there is immense, and there's so many opportunities there, and it's something that we're really looking forward to.
Yeah, I suppose I'd just like to reiterate what Darren said. Thank you everyone for attending today. We are genuinely excited about the opportunity available to us in Stella Rossa in India, and we look forward to hopefully meeting a few of you as this progresses along, and answering any questions in person if we can, and we're available. We're in the same location. Thank you very much for your time.
So thank you so much, Darren and Phil, Tony, for joining in from the Australia, and we are happy to partner with you and to actually bring this brand, bring this vision that you have for Stella Rossa in India and obviously the neighboring countries. Thank you, Surya ma'am, for giving your input. So friends, because in the interest of the time, we could not run the financial sheet. We already have a financial sheet ready for you to basically refer to and to understand more on the unit economics, that how the investment against the overall capex and the kitchen and the store fit outs and the franchise fees is going to give you the yield in next 14 to 15 odd months. So we have done all the diligence of every market, looking at rentals, looking at salaries, looking at the other licensing costs, and so on and so forth. So we have everything ready with us. Should you have any questions, should you have any doubts, should you wish to understand more on the unit economics, that how you're going to basically make the yield against the investment, and obviously the time and energy and the effort that you're going to put in the unit, happy to give you all the details and answer your queries and give you all the possible knowledge about that, how this is a better opportunity that we have today in the coffee shop space. So you can reach out to me. You can reach out to either of my colleagues, Prakhar and Krishik. They'll be happy to come and pay visit to your office and meet with you and give you all the experience that we have taken in last maybe a month and a half, that we have actually spent visiting all these local coffee chains, to all the vanilla brands and the national brands and the global brands, and creating this differentiation of our offering, and this entire working that we have done, and coming up with a lot of promising opportunity, lot of commitments, and lot of I would say assurances that this is the brand for you to eye upon. So thank you so much once again, everyone, for joining us in this lovely afternoon and hearing us and giving us your time and energy. Happy to connect once again for your one-on-one discussions. Thank you so much. Bharat, over to you.
Thank you. Thank you, friends. Bharat.
We can't quite hear you, Bharat.
I think you're on mute, Bharat.
Bharat, we are not able to hear you.
Still not
No.
able to hear.
No, not at all.
That's okay, friends. I think there's some problem with Bharat's audio. So thank you so much for joining in. We look forward to connecting with you. Thank you so much, Phil. Thank you, Darren. Thank you, Tony, for being with us today. Thank you. Have a great day ahead.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.